The Purpose of the Roger Bleep by Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres, and PMR 446.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. Okay, this was meant to be a video on how to set up a CB to Zello gateway, which was going to be for information only, because the legality in different countries might be that you're actually not allowed to do that. But last night, while I was at work, when I drive delivering the food, I usually am monitoring the 19 as well as the local amateur radio repeaters. And on the 19, what I'm now referring to as the Cleveland Burner Brigade, they're like from the Gisborough, Stokesley sort of area, but yeah, I can still hear them, which I shouldn't really be able to if they were using legal power. So that is a fair trek away. One of them was using a standard Roger bleep. The other one was using a Roger bleep that's, from what I could tell, sounded like the horn from the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard. Well, that's what I think it sounded like anyway. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it did sound a bit like that. I was like, really? Must you? That's a bit... Well, to be honest, I expect nothing less from the Burner Brigade. So, let's brought up this video, which is the purpose of the Roger bleep. Now, it does serve a useful purpose. So, I've got here, you can't see it, it's just slightly off camera. I'll see if I can bring it in. I'm not sure I'll be able to do that without causing carnage. This President Grant 2. Now that radio is one of the few legal type approved radios that can do all the modes that we are entitled to in the UK and have been since 2014. AM, FM and single sideband. Now on single sideband, which we use on the CEPT frequencies in this country, not the 2781 frequencies, although I have heard some sideband interference on there of late, which I think is coming from the continent. The purpose of the Roger bleep on single sideband citizens band is to signal the end of transmission. We don't actually use that in the amateur radio world. That radio can actually be modified for 10 metres just by snipping a wire and moving a jumper. But that also puts it onto the free band as well, which is not ideal. So there, you've heard it. That modification's been in the public domain for a while, so I don't mind sharing that one. I've not done it to that one because I'd rather not. I'd rather keep it Eagle because I like that radio. It's one of my favourites. So if you use SSB, Roger bleep can be useful to signal end of transmission because obviously there's no carrier, so there isn't the characteristic at the end of the transmission like there would normally be with an FM transmission. Now I can actually let you hear what that Roger bleep sounds like. I might have to turn... Oh no, I don't have to turn the power on at the bottom, but I can turn the power on here. So I've got my Intake H520 Plus, and I've got the Grant 2, which is into my saltwater dummy load by the looks of it, I think. Just checking the output from the back. Yep, that's going to my saltwater dummy load. So the SWR shouldn't be a problem. The Roger bleep is turned on, signified by a musical note symbol on the display. So if I push and hold the SWR button on the front of the radio, the Roger bleep is now off. And it's now on. So I can let you hear what that Roger bleep sounds like using this. This has got the long antenna on it, so I was doing some experiments the other day. So this is what the Roger bleep will sound like. I'm not sure if you heard that, let's try again. Might just knock the mic gain down just to avoid some feedback. Bring it in. That's the Roger bleep of the President Grant 2, and actually pretty much all President radios. So they all have that same Roger bleep. Even the Lincoln 2 and the Lincoln 2 Plus, which are actually 10 metre amateur radios, but do find their way onto 11 metres illegally. So if you want to use one of them on 11 metres, you do that at your own risk. Most CB radios don't come with... Legal CB radios don't usually come with a Roger bleep as stock. The only one that I've got that's legal type approved and has a Roger bleep is that President Grant 2. So everything else doesn't. There's a CRT SS9900 just behind me here. That has a Roger bleep on it as well. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I don't have another dummy load. Both my dummy loads are actually tied up at the moment, so I'll need to sort that out at some point. But that has Roger bleeps on it, which can be programmed from the programming software, although that radio is really meant for the 10 metre band, but it does find its way onto 11 metres. I know of at least one YouTube channel where the person that runs that YouTube channel actually uses a 9900 on 11 metres. He actually uses a few things on 11 metres that he shouldn't, but he does stress that they are not allowed, so at least he's making a point of that. But that has Roger bleeps in it as well. I don't have the Roger bleep turned on that because I use it for 10 metres. The only legal type approved CBs I know of from the 80s that had the Roger bleep facility, I don't know of any others, so you could maybe put them down in the comments and let me know. Is the Amstrad 901, both the legit Japanese and Hong Kong versions, and also the nasty Hong Kong copies, which included a Spinitronic and a Harvard. So they all had the Roger bleep on it. So I'm not sure if the Roger bleep was the same Roger bleep, but they all had Roger bleep fitted to them. Like I say, I'm not sure of any other UK type approved radio that actually had it from that era. The modern ones, as far as I'm aware, tends to be mostly the President ones. I haven't come across any others with a Roger bleep in them. But on FM, a Roger bleep isn't needed if the signal's really strong. It's ideal if the signal's a bit weak, you can't hear the voice of the person, but when they let go of the key, you'll hear the Roger bleep. So that's ideal. AM, same sort of thing. No good if you're close by, but if they're far away and the signal's right down in the noise, when the transmitting station lets go of the key, you'll still hear their Roger bleep. So that's what it's for, so you know they're there. And you know they've ended transmission. So if you can be heard by them, but you can't hear them, you'll know that they've stopped transmitting and the channel should be free. That's the purpose of it. Now, it finds its way into PMR 446 as well, which I'm not actually too bothered about because these things go out of range pretty quickly because of the about half a watt out of them, and half the time they're used by shops and other businesses inside, particularly the bubble pack ones like these. These all have Roger bleeps on them. This one certainly does. So I'll let you hear the Roger bleep from both of these. I think they're both on the same channel. They're on channel 5. So the Roger bleep from this Action 950 is that one, and the Roger bleep from this Intec MT 5050. Yep. Is that one. There's a Roger bleep in my Midland Base Camp 446 as well. And also the cheap Chinese radios that are used on the amateur radio 2 metre band, 77s band, and sometimes illegally used on PMR 446. They also feature Roger bleeps in them as well. So, but as I said, we don't use them on the amateur radio bands. Because what we tend to do, if on 2 metre simplex we can't work a station but they're within range of the same repeater you are, you can just ask them to move to that repeater and you don't need Roger bleep. The repeater send out either a pip or a K tone in most cases, but that doesn't constitute a Roger bleep. That's just a signal to the repeater users that the repeater's reset and ready for the next transmission. That's all that's for. So I don't mind Roger bleeps too much on CBs, but I don't see the point in them being used to play musical tunes or things. It should be just like a simple beep or something similar to what those PMR 446 radios do. It really makes more sense than to just... It also makes no sense if you're a member of the Burner Brigade and you've got your burner turned up to full power and you are talking to your mate about 2 doors down using too much power, So, but unfortunately there's just no explaining this, so yeah, I guess we're going to hear strange and weird Roger bleeps on the Citizens Band for a bit longer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tag on to the end of this video some examples of Roger bleeps as they would be seen in actual RF using my RTL SDR. So I'll tag them on, and then I'll wish you 7-3s from there. So let's have a look at what they look like on a waterfall display. This is a test from the President Grant 2 with the Roger bleep on. This is a test from the TTI TCB 550 using a Synchron MB+5 RB microphone. This is a power microphone with a built-in Roger bleep circuit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is a test of the Intec MT5050 with the Roger bleep turned on. This is a test of the slightly off frequency Binatone Action 950 with the Roger bleep turned on. Right, that's the video done. So this is Paul, and you know my amateur radio call sign, because it'd be silly of me to do it over a CB, even though this one is into a dummy load. Or if you do actually catch me on CB, or 11 metres, it's 26 Charlie Tango 730. Or you can call me the Red Squirrel on there if you like, if you want to use handles. So 7-3 for now, or as they say in the CB, 10-10 till we'll do it again. So, stay safe, look after yourselves, watch out for the virus. Yeah, you know the drill. So, there's a little bit of an echo on that because the SDR's in the same room. So, 7-3s for now, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll catch you on the air soon. 7-3 for now.
Don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be notified of new videos as I upload them. 73s from Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 on 11 metres and PMR 446.